Hey everyone, it's Laren.
And Ashley.
Welcome back to our channel.
Today we are going to be doing a how we found out we were pregnant.
And Ruby's pregnancy.
So we found out Laren was pregnant on September 19th, early morning. I had just gotten off of work. I came home and I woke her up and I was like, it's time to pee on a stick, girl. So
just love peeing on a stick.
She got up, went pee, even though you didn't technically pee on the stick. She peed in a cup.
Yeah.
Which is such a silly thing to complain about because it's so easy.
No, it's really not. But yes, whatever. Those of you who've done it and have to do it, it's not that easy.
Peeing. If you think peeing in a cup isn't easy, like, I'm worried.
Anyway, so
she got up, she peed, and then she went back to bed.
Yes.
And I went and looked at the test, and it was a very faint line, like very faint. I had posted it, and a lot of my followers on that account were like, I wouldn't say you're pregnant with that. You definitely need to test again. But I saw a line and I knew she would only be pregnant. Like that's the only thing a line means. So I was like, she's pregnant.
I didn't see the line, but that's my eyesight.
Yeah, but she was also sleepy and didn't have glasses on. Yeah. So she just took my word for it. Yeah. So then the next day I went ahead and I called the places we would be going for our appointments. And they made us an appointment for October 10th, which would be for dating and viability. And then October 22nd was for meeting the OB and doctor, or whoever we got that first time, and going over family history.
So our first sonogram, which was the dating and viability appointment, went by without a hitch. I mean, there's nothing that they really do during that one. It was just basically...
They date and find out the baby's viable.
Find out.
That's pretty...
But I mean, literally, outside of that, there's really nothing else that they really do. So we had that done, and we thought we were measuring at like 7 weeks. Turns out, surprise, we were only like 6 weeks, 5 days, right?
4 days.
Oh, 4 days. 6 weeks, 4 days, which isn't that much, but it's really big when you're like trying to grow a baby.
And when you think you're 7 weeks and then you have to bounce back a week.
Yeah.
Even by what, 5, 6, 3 days?
Yeah.
It still hurt a little bit. Just a little.
Yeah. So,
but we were happy the baby was healthy.
That is true.
After that appointment, our first appointment, like our first actual appointment on the 22nd, where we met the midwife. Was it a midwife?
We met a midwife.
Okay.
Yes. All right. So, after that first appointment of the dating and viability, we ended up going back for another appointment, which was like 10 days later or something like that. And this appointment was basically just to go over family history and stuff like that. So we let them know, obviously, we have a donor. And initially it was, they used the word father term, but we were like, nope, it's donor, blah, blah, blah. And at this point...
They were respectful of it.
They were very respectful, which was kind of cool, you know. And... That was a good part. But then we also found out that we weren't going to have another ultrasound unless we wanted one for the 13 week, and that was to test the chromosomes and all that stuff.
We weren't going to have another one until 20 weeks.
Right, 20 weeks. But that happens at 13 weeks. 20 weeks. No, the one where we see if they have like...
That's between 11 and 13.
So, yeah, we opted for that because...
I mean, not only just to see the baby, but like if there was anything, like we would want to know.
Yeah.
Sooner rather than later. Not that it would matter, but we would want to know. Left that appointment and we went home and we did a gender blood test to find out the gender of the baby. And then a few days later, I got the results in my email. We got the results while I was at work and I was scared to open it because I was scared of it being a boy. Because we both really wanted a girl. Now the way it was set up, I didn't know, but it was like after 10 seconds, it was like the little curtains opened on their own. So I went to open up my phone and show my boss what it was, and I ended up just saying it was a girl. And then I was really excited, and I wanted to leave work, but I couldn't for like another couple of hours, which didn't matter because you were at work anyways. Yeah. But I did finally get off. I went and I got stuff to surprise Laren with the gender, and then I made her think it was a boy at first. So yeah, she found out the gender, it was a girl, and we were all happy and excited.
Yeah.
So fast forward to our next appointment.
So our next appointment ended up being the 11-week one, where we met with the midwife and ended up she ended up trying to find the heartbeat and all that stuff, which she couldn't find, which was okay. We weren't worried or anything, and she wasn't too worried. No, we just wanted to make sure. So she ended up getting us a like a last minute appointment at an outside ultrasound place, and we had to hurry up and go over there and meet them, and got it done, and they found the heartbeat, and it was
like almost instantly.
You know, the
and she was moving around.
She was moving around, and the heartbeat was all fluttering around. So that was kind of cool.
Yep, all was good.
Yeah, all was good. So after that ultrasound that we had, the emergency ultrasound, our ultrasound for the genetic one was like 13 weeks, whatever, to the day. And so we ended up getting that done, and you can explain kind of like.
And all was looking good, but they couldn't see baby really clearly, or it was her face. They weren't able to see the bridge of her nose, this part. Obviously everyone knows what that is. But they weren't able to see it in the sonogram, so she was basically saying that is a marker for Down syndrome, or one of the forms of, I don't even know how to correctly
Couldn't even pronounce it. Don't know how to pronounce it. Yeah,
it was like trisomy, something like that, 13. We'll put it on the screen though. They were acting like they weren't really worried about it, but it seemed to me like they were worried about it, because then they wanted us to go through a whole entire appointment to prepare us for if the baby had either of those.
Okay. So the same appointment we did the video, we were sitting in the office, and I mean,
because they gave us the option to do the video
right then and there. Otherwise, we'd have to drive another 30 minutes, and I'm like, no, we're not doing that.
And go to another appointment.
Go to another hospital completely. So no, we didn't do that. So we sat there and we were like, okay.
We watched the video.
It was really long.
It was.
Then they asked us questions.
And I didn't want to watch the video because I knew for me it didn't matter what the issues were, and it was just upsetting me. So I was like, why do I need to like watch it?
No, and it didn't matter to me either, but I like to be informed. So.
Yeah, we watched the video and all. They took a blood test, which I think was the NIPT. For it just screens for all the abnormalities that they thought she potentially had, and it also the nuddle. Okay. Anyways, that could also tell us the gender, but we told them we already knew the gender, and they were like, "Oh, really? You're only this far ahead, and people don't normally find out this early." So she was kind of like, "You guys don't know the gender."
Yeah. And we're like, we do.
Yeah. So, yeah, she got all her blood screening, and then that appointment was done. And
a week later, we ended up finding out, well, all the tests that they did were negative, which was good. And then we also found out at this appointment that she was, in fact, a girl. But, like I said, we already knew that.
Yeah, they just confirmed it.
And they confirmed it for us, so that was good. Did we have an ultrasound that day, too?
Yes.
Yeah, we had an ultrasound that day, and so...
They saw the bridge of her nose. It was all good.
Yep, everything
better
was good.
View this time.
Because we found out early, which we should have taken as a cue, that Miss Ruby liked to flip and do all... She was camera shy. Like,
yeah.
It was
and
insane.
The placenta was interior.
Yeah.
So it made it harder to see. After that appointment came our next OB appointment, where they decided they were going to test her A1C.
Yeah.
Which it was just, when they did test it, she failed by like 3 points.
I actually have the lab results. It's kind of crazy because like now that it's a whole year later, I have the results, and I really didn't fail by that much.
It was very little.
It was very little, but because the midwife, I wanted to keep the midwife was like, well, it's kind of borderline, and because, you know, my family history, we ended up
doing the glucose test. Sooner than they would have, because normally they don't do it till like 26 weeks.
Right. And so I found out.
And they started out with a 3-hour one. They jumped right into it.
Well, they started the 2 hour. I didn't do the 1 hour to the 2 hour. I started. And you know, a lot of women that I've talked to, that we've talked about, they're like, we don't like the glucose. And I was really afraid about actually drinking the juice.
Women are dramatic. It's not that bad.
Drinking the juice was not even that bad, okay? I had the orange flavor. The orange flavor was freaking amazing.
No,
like I woke up that morning thirsty AF. And I'm like, can we get to this appointment? Because seriously. So once I drank that, I was like, and it quenched my thirst. And we sat there in the office
for 2 hours.
For 2 hours. Each, after the first hour, I went and got my blood redrawn and went back out and sat there again. Okay, so this is all pre-shutting down of the states and whatnot. So
you guys already know.
We were actually in the office together, which was still good. It was
maybe a week later we got the results.
Maybe a week later.
And again, she failed by like a point. 2
Actually,
points.
it was like 2. Yeah,
it was still something. They didn't want to do the 3-hour one.
No, she didn't want to go into the 3-hour because I failed it by a couple points, and I'm like, well, good, because
she just didn't see the point.
Yeah.
Because most places will have you, if you fail the 2-hour, then you got to try the 3-hour. They just completely skip that.
Yeah. It was a good call.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it was really good.
So then we had appointments with
the diabetes specialist?
Yes.
Yeah. She was awesome.
She was very
She was really, really nice. Like, I really liked her. And we had, I had my appointment with her, and it was very informative. Like, I got my glucose meter. Yeah. It was already in the pharmacy, and I didn't know that it was there. So I get there, and she gives me all my stuff, and we're just sitting there talking about it, and it was good.
Watch the video. About, like, the diet and all.
And actually, it was not,
Learn gestational does not mean you're going to have a turkey baby.
That is true. Yes.
As long as you follow the diet.
As long as you follow the diet.
A lot of people assume that's like you're 110% going to have a 10-pound plus baby.
Right. And
but it doesn't have to mean that.
Nope. Definitely was not the case. So
after that appointment, the one where we met with the specialist. Mm-hmm. So after seeing the gestational specialist, we had another regular OB appointment where we actually did get to hear the heartbeat that time. The doctor found it.
Yeah.
She was 16 weeks at the time, so the baby was higher up and more out there, though he had a hard time because she has liked to move since the very beginning.
Oh my gosh.
So that was that appointment, and then after that came the anatomy scan. And at the anatomy scan, everything was good, except they weren't really honest about what they were worried about until
we went back for a follow-up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was just saying that she thought that there might have been no, she didn't even say she thought there might have been something wrong. She said she didn't get a good look at the heart.
Yes. And so we ended up having a whole nother, we had hella sonograms.
Paranoia, because I was like, oh no, the way she was acting, I was like, if they want to repeat sonogram, it's not about not being able to see the heart. She definitely thinks she saw something. Yeah. So we were a little worried about that because the heart kind of runs you need a heartbeat to live.
Yeah. After that one where we found out, we went back to it and then they gave us the results.
She was just doing the ultrasound. She did show us the potty shot. She was like, oh yeah, she's a girl. And then she was like, yeah, I'm not seeing these holes in her heart that the last ultrasound tech said she saw.
Wait a minute.
And we were like, wait, so that's what it was? She thought she had holes in her heart?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Thanks for not worrying.
But she didn't even formally tell us, because I don't know if she knew, if we knew what exactly she was looking for. But she was like, yeah, no holes. And we were like, well, thank God.
Yeah. After our finding out that, there was
the anatomy scan.
The anatomy scan and everything was good, we hit 24 weeks. Viability time, baby.
Which, if you don't know what viability it basically means that your baby should be a pound and is now compatible with life if it were to be born.
So,
which was a huge milestone.
Huge milestone and huge
it makes me want to cry now.
Okay, we can take a little tiny breath.
It was a bit of a breather. Yeah. And the following week we
got married.
Yes, we did.
I put a ring on it. Because I liked it.
Because you liked it. Okay. So, yeah, we got married. It was a very small...
Courthouse.
Ceremony. Yeah, wedding. It was, honestly, all my mental stability could handle, because I would have had a lot, I just know. All the... I can't
even talk. She's so excited.
No, all the eyes on you, and everyone's here to see you walk down the aisle and kiss somebody. That's a lot.
The officiant did not say you may now kiss the bride, and she's all like,
yeah, it might be a
aren't you missing something?
No, I wasn't even that. she didn't even like she didn't say kiss nothing.
Yeah.
So I kissed her and she went, oh,
the kiss.
No, she said, oh, the kiss. We actually have a clip of that too.
Yeah.
That was funny.
That was funny.
She really was like, oh, the kiss. I was like, so the following week to us getting married came our 3D ultrasound.
Oh, the 3D ultrasound that she found, and I was just like,
since I was,
that should be cool.
Or since we were paying for it, we were able to bring more than just like your average. I think like to your appointment to your sonograms in the hospital.
Yeah.
You can bring up to 2 people, but this was unlimited.
Like,
you could bring as many people as you wanted.
That could fit in the room, but the room was really tiny, so
yeah,
really
it was not at all advertised like it was on the website.
No.
Kind of got bamboozled, but.
Yes.
Whatever, we saw the baby.
It's really kind of cool.
It was, honestly.
And I'm going to say it's kind of cool because we got 5D for free. We paid for 3D, but we got some 5D.
Though I will say they all look 3D.
They do, but that was only because Ruby decided to be camera shy the whole entire sonogram. Like, when she had to stop, she had to make me get up off the table and walk, like, just
but again,
reposition
her
everything.
placenta is anterior, so it makes it harder to see.
Yeah. So we got some awesome shots.
So yeah, after that sonogram, we didn't have a sonogram, I think, for quite some time.
Yeah, it was.
That was actually like my last sonogram. That was with her.
Yes.
So after that appointment, we didn't have another sonogram until 30 weeks.
30 weeks.
Which was the growth scan.
Yes, the growth scan. And we ended up finding this one. She was breech.
But at the time, that wasn't really an issue because sometimes babies don't flip till like 36 weeks.
Right.
Or 35. So I was still nervous if she was breech because I was like, we want her to come out the vagina. So she needs to get her head down there.
But
yeah.
Yeah. Funny story.
From there, I'm pretty sure appointments started getting to like every other week.
Yeah, actually after that we really did start having them closer together. Just because the gestational was progressing, which was interesting because I started at a lower level of insulin because I had to take, and I ended up not needing insulin, but then I ended up being on insulin towards the end. So my insulin was probably like, it was still under 100 units or 50 units or something like that. So I was doing it morning and night, injecting and whatnot. So getting to these appointments, we started to go weekly. And
so we're sitting here editing and we just realized that the camera cut off and we didn't freaking notice. So now we're just going to sit here and finish off telling you guys the rest of the story. So then we got down to weekly appointments, which for you meant what?
That meant 2 appointments a week. One was in the beginning of the week to actually do an ultrasound before the non-stress test, NST. So I had those 2 on one day, and then I went back.
But the ultrasounds were growth scans.
The ultrasounds were all, yeah, they were also growth scans. They were also checking at this time the placenta and the fluid that was actually inside. So all that
was around baby.
That was still looking good. And
yeah, so we had those weekly appointments. She passed them all. So because she had gestational, they decided we were going to deliver at 39 weeks.
Yep.
So
and then we had an induction date, which we kept secret for like the longest time.
Well, not really, for like a week.
Maybe a week. Okay, well, it was still a secret. Well, we didn't
tell anyone.
And then we got it.
It was the day we were there.
Yeah.
And we let family. Actually, I don't think we let family know until the next day when her water broke. Yeah. Anyways, we're not going into details of that. Hi, Spike. Come.
Our kid. First kid.
Yes, firstborn. So, yeah, we got the induction date. And that was her very last appointment. And then we came in. That's a whole nother story. The birth vlog, if you guys want to hear that. So, that is the end of today's video.
Yes, which turned into 3 parts. 2 parts.
Oh, right. Yeah. So, go ahead and comment down below any questions you have.
Thumbs up. Like it.
Subscribe.
Become
a part of the family.
Yes.
And we'll see you next time.
Next time.
Ready? Now we can do this.